Hello, guys. I welcome you all to this uh, 12th day session of web application development on ASP.NET and MS SQL Server. So yesterday we just did some experiment on how to do some experiment on SQL statement. Today we are going to use that particular SQL statement to pull the data from our database. I believe my voice is audible to you all. And we will be using two more controls today. The first control will be the drop down list. As we have done it in our form, you have seen the drop down list control we have used in the place of gender. Means user don't have to write any gender, they just have to select whether it's male or female from a drop down list. But that is not only the work of drop down list. First, let me just open Visual Studios. And we will be going to the same project which we are continuing from several days. We are going to do this on a new form so that you can understand it clearly without any confusion. So this is the Visual Studios getting open, and I will be taking one more form. On that form, I will be adding two controls. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a control. First of all, I'm going to add a page. And we are going to name this page web form day 12. Okay, .aspx. Yes, now what we are going to do, we can just pull the drop down list and list box, or we can design it under table. So what I will do, I will first of all, I will just pull the drop down list. This is the drop down list. And the drop down list also by clicking on drop down list and going to its property in at the bottom right, bottom So as we were discussing about the pulling the data from database, we will be using two controls to pull the data. The first control we used previously also, the drop-down list box, in which manually we added some data like male and female. But we are not going to do that in today's session. We are going to pull a particular field from the database and list it on the drop-down list box. I think I need to share the screen, but the thing over here is that the organizer is not allowing me to share the screen. First, let me just go to the organizer. Okay. Well, the thing is that the organizer has not given me authority to share the screen. That's why I'm not able to share the screen, but I have sent the message to share the screen. Once the screen has been shared, I will be showing you guys how it done. And due to the bad weather, I'm facing a little bit problem right here. That's why I rejoined once again. Screen. So I believe you all can see the screen. It will be visible on your screen. Then where we are, okay, now here. Now let me just run the page once again and see what we have done. We have just created a drop-down list right here. And we will be using one more control, which is list box. Remember the coding which we are going to apply for drop-down list to pull the data, a particular field in a drop-down list. The same code will be applied. The same code will be applied for the drop-down list also. Where this drop-down list is being used and how it is created, let me just tell you. So we will go back to the design time and we will be adding one more control, which will be list box. Okay. The difference between drop down list and list box is that if we add some data in list box, it remains open. We don't have to click as we click on drop down list and see the data as the list pulls down. That doesn't happen with list box. So these are two controls where we can see the data. Let me just open the page and refresh it, and we can see right here. Okay, now you can see the list box is appeared in the right side, but not in a proper manner. So what will I do? I will add a width to it. I will save it and I will just run it. So you can see the drop down list over here, a drop down list and a list box, the two controls. What does it do? I will show you right now. Remember, in here we added few data. In drop down list, I'm adding some data like male, and female. In the same process, we can add the data in list box also. Male, and here we're going to add female. In drop-down list, I added a data male, female. We can add many more data like days of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday till Sunday till Saturday. That we can add. We can add many more data which from where we know that the answer will be specifically for 10 or 15 answers. So in that case, what we do, we just fix that particular answer in that drop down, and we can use it according to our project scenario. Now let's refresh the page. Now you can see if I press the drop down list, the list open, and we can see male and female, and we can choose male and female. But you in drop down list, what you see, you just see all the data is being added, is openly clear to all the viewers without clicking or opening or anything. It just opened by itself. So in list box, we get the entire list, and in drop down list, we get the entire list until and unless we just press it and open the list box at the bottom. So these are the difference between drop down list and the list box. But the process of adding the specific data, specific records inside list box and text box is similar. Okay, only the thing is that this we have to write list box over here, and we have to write the same thing over list item. You can see all these two codes are similar. So whether we add this code between the drop down list tags or list box tag, the result we are going to see the same. But you can see it right here that the result is fixed. Okay, suppose when I open the table, when I go to the student marks, when I open the table, you can see few names. Okay, first let the table be open. Sorry, student table. I opened the student marks. So you can see in this particular table, student table, we have several names of student names. So don't you think if we require this particular entire field of student name to get loaded inside our drop down list, means we can connect this particular control, the drop down list control, with this particular table of this particular field. Means whatever the field we'll have in this student name field, and as the field increases, as the record increases, the names of the different students will be increasing. So we will be requiring the entire student name to get uploaded inside the drop down list, and that can be done with the server side coding. Not only student name, but we can add any of the field, contact number also, address also, email also. It's depend upon the requirement of the client and the developer, as I'm saying again and again. But for the practice, for the beginner, what we will going to do, we're going to add all the records, all the student name inside our table to this drop down list box. Okay, and we are going to add some other data inside this drop down list. What we are going to do, I'm just going to show you. First of all, let's pull the data from this particular table, student table. We are going to load the entire current record, the current field of student name, the entire student name. We are going to upload in this particular drop down list, and we are going to use our server side coding to do that. But here you can see that in day 12 day 12 page, we don't have any server-side coding written. So we have to write the server-side coding also. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to add some things like this: 3 importing of the DLL files. It will be same for the all. This form load event and the defining a variable con right over here. Now the connection coding has been done. We don't need this drop down list grid view, because we don't have any grid view in our screen. We have drop down list and list box. So in right here in form load event, we have to write the code. Now what we are going to do, we are going to connect the drop down list to the particular table. In a couple of days before, we are understanding how to attach the grid view with the entire table. Now what we are going to do, we are going to attach a control, which is drop down list, to a particular field of a table. Are you getting the difference? So for that, we will be needing some code. I will do one thing to cut the time into half. I have the code written over here. I will be pulling out the code. Sorry. Where I have written the entire thing. And now I will be requiring this one. Okay. So I will be explaining the code to you. First of all, as we all know, we have to open the connection, we have to close the connection. This is the string to connect this particular connection, to generate this connection. This is to open the connection, closing the connection. This is the command, means we have to command. It clearly says dim cmd as a new SQL command. Instead of cmd, we can write your name also, our name also, anything. So I just wrote cmd. Select distinct location. No, we have to select student name. So we will write student name from the table name. From the table name, let's remove this. I will be explaining you what is this. So we just wrote the SQL commands here. Will tell the program to go to the student table, and inside that student table, it have to select this particular field, and we have defined RD as new SQL data adapter. Basically, data adapter and the data table, you can call it a temporary storing space, okay, in which they have to pull the data and store it inside the data adapter and data table. Inside the data table, they have to put the entire record temporary, and connecting with this data table to our data list, it's going to apply all the temporary fields to be fit inside the drop down list. Now here we have to change the location. Sorry. Now select. I will have select over here. So you can see the drop down data table. We have defined DT. You can use any alphabet, and DT is connected with RD. RD.fill is DT. What is RD? RD is a new data adapter which is connected with CMD. What is CMD? CMD is a command. So everything is connected in a sequence format. CMD, RD is connected with CMD, DT is connected with data table, and here RD.fill.dt. Okay. Now SQL drop down list box one dot data source will be DT, means data table. And which field we have to pull? Drop down list box one dot data text field, we have to pull student name. Drop down list box one dot data field dot value, we have to pull student name. These both should be same. And then we have to write data drop down list one dot data bind. The binding of entire data what we have done in above, we have to write the code bind, and then we have to write this line. This line denotes that the zero index, the first record of drop down list, what it will be. Okay, it will be select. Now let's see what does it give us. We just refresh the page and we can see, you can find it a select over here. It's a kind of a professional thing that to have instead of direct showing the record, the first record inside the drop down list, we can show select record or choose record. When we click the drop down list, you can find the entire name: Pritam, Shad, TechCat, Arnold, Sanjeev, TechCat, and Pritam. Okay, here. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can find those 7 records in our database particular field. So what we did, we just pulled the data with this code to a particular control which we have used right here. We have used drop down list box 1. So it's depend upon the requirement, which field do we want, where we want, and on which control we want. Do we want that control to be list box or drop down list? So we will be using the same code, the exact same code. We will copy it and we will paste it at the bottom. Now you can see a blue line is getting appear in between at the below of the CMD, means it is showing when you put your cursor right over there in a blue underline or a red underline, it shows some error and messages and warnings. So what will be the warning? What will be the error? If you pull your cursor right on top of the error, you're going to see the error description. Local variable CMD is already declared in the current block. What does it mean? It means it is showing the blue color because CMD is already been defined on top. So we have to change the name from CMD to CMD1, RD to RD1, DT to DT1. Wherever we find CMD, we have to change it with CMD1. Now, the application which will consider CMD1 as a different CMD command and CMD as a different CMD command. Okay. Now the same code you can see we have written right here. Only in place of drop down list, we have to write list box 1 dot. That's it. And we will copy the list box 1 and paste wherever we find drop down list. The code is the same. Now in drop down list also, we will be seeing the student name. So you can see the student name right here. We can just increase the height of the drop down list also by adding a property called height. Height equals to, suppose I give 500. I'll save the screen and I will run the project once again. And you can see the the list box has been increased to 500 width, and you can find the entire student names. Now in list box, we don't require zero index saying that select. Okay. So in our code, we can just remove this last line, the second last line, which is saying listbox1.select.insert 0. 0 is the index. Everything starts from 0. It's okay. So we will be commenting this one by here. If you want to comment, you can just put a single inverted comma from the left starting of any code, and that code will be you can see that code in a red color font, changes the color of the font will be red. So this means that this particular code is commented. Commented means what? When the page will be executed, when the page will open, when the page will run, the code written in the form load, not only on form load, anywhere when you comment any sentence, the code, it will turn red, and the process is putting a single inverted comma at the left hand side of that particular line. So it means that whenever the code is executed, when the code start executing itself, it's not going to read this line, it's going to bypass this line. The meaning of commenting any sentence is that when the code in the page is getting executed, it's not going to read the commented line, it's going to bypass the commented line. So in our list box, we don't require, we can also delete this line also, but we have just commented this line. Now if we run the project, you can see that the select word on top of the list box is gone, but here in drop down list it's still there. Okay, so these are the features which slide feature which have drop down list and drop down list box and the list box have. Now you can see the drop down list box is in the left hand side and the list box is on the right hand side, but they both are side to each other, but I don't think it's looking decent. So what we do, we will just add a HTML tag which says break line, BR. I think BR stands for break line. I don't, I have forgotten, but this particular HTML tag, let me put it right here. So what does it do? Whatever control have, if I put this BR tag in the right hand side of any control, that the control which is in the right hand side of BR tag will be pushed down at the bottom. So if I just save it and if I open, you can see the drop down list is on top and the list box has come in the bottom. So this is looking something decently. Okay, so this is the code to pull the entire field of a particular, from a particular table to a control. Now the male and female and is gone from drop down list and the list box. But the story doesn't end here. Okay, we are going to experiment something more. Now what we are going to do, we are going to, let's remove male and female from here and male and female, the static records from here. Now don't you think if we select tick cat, I want that the tick cats, means we have two tables, the one table is student table and the second is student marks. So if I want that if I just select the student name Pritham, the subject name of Pritham should appear inside this list box, the subjects. If I select take cat, the take cat subject to be selected in this particular list box, means whatever name I select, that particular name, the as we change the drop down list. So for that, what we have to do, we just have to do some extra things. Means remember, now we have to create the event in drop down list box 1. So first of all, we will be adding auto post back equals to true. Means what? Whenever we will select, whenever the record of drop down list will be changed, the page is going to be refreshed. It's going to send request to the server and getting request from server, and that particular data is going to appear on our drop-down list. To write some eventing code on drop-down list box 1, we have to write this particular property. We have to add this property inside our drop-down list. Auto postback equals to true. Okay, now what we will do in our server-side coding window, the control we will select drop-down list box 1, and the event we will select. What we will select? We will select index change. So as you can see, as you select the control and as you select the event name, select index change, the entire event column gets open, and we have to write the code in between of it. Now let's see what we have right here. But in our student marks table, we don't have student name. So how are we gonna pull the subject's name to that particular student? Now here is the work comes of view 1. Remember, we have made the views. We have made the view. If we right click on the view and open the view, you can see the subject's name with the student marks. Sorry, student name with the subjects and with the marks. So instead of table, we are going to use this particular view inside our SQL statement. And as we select the student name in our drop-down list, the SQL statement, it's going to come to the view 1 and see which student have which subjects, and that particular subjects they are going to add in our list box. When I will do, you will come to know. The same code we are going to use for the list box. Means we have to change the list box, and we want the result in our list box. We have to change the drop down list, and we will getting the result on list box. So here we write select not student name. We will be selecting subject name. Subject name from view 1. View 1. Is it the right spelling? Yeah. View 1, where student name is equal to drop down list box 1.text. Means whatever name we will select in our drop down list, according to the name, the command, the SQL command will go to the table student to the view, means the view 1, and it's going to fetch the subject's name of that particular student. So we write this, we have written, right? We have to write this code. Not from the subject name. Instead of student name, we have to write the subject name because we have to pull the subject's name. Now let's see. Now we have, let's do something. We have subject's name English Hindi history for Shad. We have English Hindi history for Pritam. Now let's change something in our this code. English Hindi science. Okay. Now if we execute the, okay, you can see for Shad we have English Hindi history, and Pritam, for Pritam we have English Hindi science. So if we just refresh the page, you can see the entire data. Let's wash the data. We don't require this data. Means we don't require data in our form load event for the list box, because we have created an event for drop down list. After selecting the drop down list, then only we can get the record in our list box. Now we refresh the page. You can see the drop down list is filled with student name, but the list box is empty, because when I will select the list box name, if I select any name, the subjects related to that name from view 1 will going to appear in our list box. I will select Pritam. Okay, it's not getting anything. Why? Let me just check once more. Why it is not appearing. Okay. So the thing is that the code is not up to the mark, means the code is not perfect. I will be needing some other code. Okay. So to cut the time into short, I will be pulling the code from our existing project. Okay. The code which we are going to use is this one. I will be explaining you the code also. This code is to populate or bind the list box, but we don't require this code. We will be using this code. Sorry. Let's do one thing. Let's comment this code because we will be needing the SQL statement. We will be copying the SQL statement from here to here, and we will be pasting it from here to here. DR, it is showing some error. Why it is showing some error? Because DR has been not defined here. We will be adding a data row, I think, data reader. And we have to define it right here. Okay. Now in this code, I think this code should work. Select subject name from view 1 where student name equals to this one. Should appear. Let me do one thing. It's a code for a different purpose, but this code should work. Why it's not working? Let me just check it out. Okay. So we missed in a form load, we missed a code because every time we do some work on any page, if you have seen the page get refreshed. Okay. So in order, when the page get refreshed, all the data, all the code which are written in a form load event, they get executed again and again. In order to stop that, means we want that when we open a page, the load event, the code inside the load event page should execute once, and after that, on that page, if we do something or the other, and even after the page get refreshed many times, the code inside the page load event should not get executed. It will be executed only at once, when the first time the page is being open. So we will write if not page dot is post back then, and we will write end if. That's it. So this particular code, what does it does? It does whatever code is written inside this particular line. If not page dot is post back then, and if, and inside whatever code we write, this code is going to execute only once when the form is being loaded. And this particular line is written only in this particular event, means only in form load event. So this code is okay. We don't be requiring this code because it's for some other purpose. Let's save the page and let's refresh the page once again, and you can see English, Hindi and Science right over here, as we have selected Pritam in our drop down list box. If we select Shad, let's see what's happened. If we select Shad, Hindi, English, History. If we select Pritam, it shows English, Hindi, Science. So are you getting, if we select Sanjeev, it's not getting anything. If we select Arnold, it's not getting anything. Why? Because subject's name related to Arnold is not mentioned inside this particular view, as we haven't mentioned any subject's name for this particular admission number. And as we know that we added few, we pulled few fields from student marks, we pulled few fields from student mark, and we created a dummy table, not the dummy table, a view, a query, which contained two tables in a relation between them. And we are using this particular view for our execution of the project. Now, if we select Pritam, you can see English, Hindi, Science. Now, if we select Shad, if you can see English, Hindi, History, the data gets changed itself. So from the name, we can just see the subject's name from our two tables inside our database. So guys, I believe the thing which I'm trying to tell you in today's session is clear. And if you have some doubt, just let me know which part do you want me to explain once again. Anybody? Sujit, Ankit, S. Ghosh, Sip Santosh. Anybody want me to explain anything again? Because tomorrow what we are going to do, we are going to leave the server-side coding part apart from we are going to leave that server-side coding part for a while. We will be discussing and doing some experiment R&D in design time, means making a page beautiful, attractive. We are going to struggle with colors and material designing and Bootstrap. What is Bootstrap? We are going to discuss implementing Bootstrap. It's all very easy, how to create CSS, how to implement it in our page. We are not going to use server-side coding tomorrow. We are going to stop it for a while, but tomorrow we are going to do some JavaScript development also. We are going to do some JavaScript programming also. The validation, the authentication ones, which are being used widely and mostly in our projects. So does anybody has any doubt for today's session? If you have any doubt for today's session, just let me know. Please reply me so that I can go further. So these are the things which we are going, which I was willing to tell you, how to pull the data from database. All these things, all these codes, all these logics, algorithm, small working principles, we do in our daily life projects. All these things are being used. Everything which I'm just saying you, all these things are being used to make projects, whether small or big, but these things are being used. So you will be getting this video link also, as well as this file also. So I guess it's enough for the today. I will be ending this session, and we will be seeing you tomorrow with the CSS and Bootstrap subjects and how to implement it, how to download it, how to search, and how to find it out. What are the benefits of it? Okay, guys, thank you. I will be taking the leave. I will be seeing you tomorrow at 8 p.m. sharp. Thank you. Thank you very much.